You're watching the Black Wonder channel, where we discuss current events, geopolitics, and much more.
We turn now to Paris, where more than 800 people have been arrested for protesting the fatal police shooting of a 17-year-old boy. The French Interior Ministry said that over the past few days, protesters have burned 2,000 cars, damaged nearly 500 buildings, looted stores, and clashed with riot officers.
French officials are urging calm in response to overnight protests over a police shooting. One officer is in custody and could face a murder charge after he allegedly shot and killed a 17-year-old boy during a traffic stop.
A new night of widespread protests and rioting there after police shot and killed a 17-year-old during a traffic stop.
Now let's take you to Paris, because a French policeman has now been charged and remanded in custody following the killing of a 17-year-old boy named as Nahel, who was shot dead by an officer on Tuesday. Thousands of people have been marching through the streets of the Paris suburb of Nanterre to remember the teenager.
This incident has really poured fuel on a fire that has been burning for some time in France. Really significant concerns about racism in the police, discrimination by police officers that many of these protesters who have been taking to the streets for many nights now have been expressing. We heard the UN High Commissioner today urging France to deal with deep issues of racism within law enforcement. The French government has come out saying that they completely reject that, and we just got a very strong statement from the French police union saying that now that's enough. They say that these protesters are savage hordes, and they say that police are in combat because they are at war now, saying they're going to do everything they possibly can to bring this situation under control.
The French government has said it is considering all options, including declaring a state of emergency after a third night of escalating violence and rioting in cities and towns across France. Hundreds of police were injured last night and more than 900 people arrested.
Rioters put up barricades in Nanterre, the working-class town outside Paris, where Nahel was shot dead on Tuesday. Their advance towards police lines under a hail of fireworks was stopped as police fired round after round of tear gas.
Yeah, well, the police, according to the prosecutor, have claimed that they acted essentially out of self-defense, that they felt threatened. But the prosecutor has said that the legal requirements for the police officer to discharge the firearm do not appear to have been met in this case. And that is why this police officer has now been put under that formal investigation as France tries to contain this really escalating crisis with a curfew put in place, all public transportation shut down as of 9 p.m. this evening.
Even the United Nations had a go today, calling on France to address what it called deep racism and discrimination in the security forces.
The teenager's death has fed complaints of systemic racism and police violence, which the force denies. 40,000 officers were said to have deployed across France on Thursday, nearly 4 times the number the day before. But there are few signs that government appeals to de-escalate the violence, including from French leader Emmanuel Macron, would quell the widespread anger.
Prosecutors say Nahel was shot after he failed to stop his car when he was asked to do so by police, but he was of North African descent, and so that has raised questions as to whether race may have played a factor here.
So people were saying that they wanted justice for Nahel. They also said that if there weren't cameras recording what happened, maybe the problems and the issues wouldn't have been brought to the spotlight in the way that they have. And of course, that is a similar refrain from what we heard, of course, in the United States, when the protests happened in the wake of the death of George Floyd.
The number of people killed by police on duty over since 2017 has doubled, and there were a record 13 deaths last year. So there's a lot of concern that the police are perhaps not getting the training they need, according to some of the politicians. Now, the family's lawyer pointed to what they say was the initial statement by the police officer, who said he acted in self-defense. And the lawyers say that is not true. They believe that the video evidence shows that the officer was not in danger, and they want to see justice done. France has a poor record of actually convicting police officers involved in the deaths of people while they're on duty, and so the family are concerned concerned that justice might not be done, but the police unions are saying, look, let's let the investigation do its job and see what the truth was.
Thank you for watching the Black Wonder channel. If you found value in our content, please like, subscribe, and share.